The hottest stars, movie news, and a whole lot more.
Lights, cameras, action.
Spin Cinema with Peter Murphy on Spin Southwest.
Hi and welcome to the Spin Video Podcast. I'm Peter Murphy and this is the first episode of the video podcast, and I'm delighted to say I'm starting with an interview very, very close to my heart because I'm a massive fan of Ghostbusters, my favourite movie of all time. In fact, the second one, I love it just as much as the first one, but I had the great opportunity to sit down and have a chat with its director Ivan Reitman, because he has a new movie out starring Ashton Kutcher, Natalie Portman, No Strings Attached, all about relationships and how when they're pushed to a physical level rather than an emotional level, can friendships last? Well, that's the premise of his new movie, No Strings Attached, and here's the trailer.
You don't remember my name, do you?
Did you have a good time last night?
It's all right. Nothing special.
Hey, Adam. You left your socks in my room.
Did I?
Hey, champ.
Hey. What happened last night?
You made my body hurt so much.
You're up.
Emma, did I have sex with anyone in this apartment last night?
No, you didn't.
So I just passed out on your couch?
Yeah, you were naked and crying. Do you like her?
I can't date her. She's my oldest friend. Hey, we're having sex.
I know.
Did you have sex with Emma?
No. Yes.
I'm a doctor. I work 80 hours a week. I need someone who's going to be in my bed at 2 a.m. who I don't have to eat breakfast with.
I hate breakfast.
Good.
Let's remember, where are you?
You want to come back strong here. Like, where am I? Why don't you check your underpants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't write that.
Maybe we should establish ground rules. No lying, no jealousy. Don't list me as your emergency contact. I won't call it.
Don't ask me what I think about your body.
Deal.
I can't focus on my porn with all this real sex going on around me.
You probably shouldn't snuggle.
Yeah. That just felt wrong.
I think I'm falling for her.
That's a horrible idea. You're living every guy's dream right now. Why would you mess that up?
I really like you.
You always find these perfect guys, and then you're like, it'll never work.
I think monogamy goes against our basic biology. Go hook up with someone else.
You're kidding. Okay. I'm gonna call every girl in my phone until someone agrees to have sex with me.
Toast to that.
That is a terrible self-destructive plan, and we're behind you 100%.
You are such an overachiever.
Thank you. Go on a date with me. One date.
Why can't we just have sex?
You can't fight me. You're miniature. You fight like a hamster.
Ashton Kutcher, Natalie Portman, No Strings Attached, directed by Ivan Reitman. And as I said at the top of this video podcast, I sat down and had a chat with the legend, Ivan Reitman. And as you can probably tell, I was a bit excited.
Hi, Peter.
How you doing, Ivan?
I'm very good.
I don't know what to say to you because I'm so excited to be talking to you. You're an absolute legend, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you on Spin Cinema today.
Well, that's very nice of you to say, and it's great to be here.
Yeah, congrats on your new film, No Strings Attached.
Thank you.
Straight off, Ivan, as you can probably tell by the shake in my voice.
Don't shake. Don't shake.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't, all right. But I'm a massive fan of all your movies, especially the two Ghostbuster films, and I just have to get that off my chest now because they've meant a lot to me, and maybe I might just talk to you about that in just a few minutes.
Sure.
But your new movie, No Strings Attached, it's a real different comedy. You haven't been directing the last few years. You've been producing and writing with your son Jason and stuff. What was it about this story that you said, right, I'm getting back in the director's chair?
Well, Liz Merriweather wrote a screenplay that, just was observationally so smart and so perceptive and so honest and frankly so damn funny that I felt I couldn't give it up. I really wanted to be the director of this. I wanted to be able to put these people together in a film. I had a sense that it was going to be a joyful experience both to make and then finally to screen to audiences. And it did turn out that way. It really was a highlight of my career. I love Natalie Portman and Ashton together. They're kind of this unusual and surprising team, and they have extraordinary chemistry. Everyone says it because it's just palpable, yeah. And they're both really effective. And we've never seen Natalie in a comedy before. And she's such a fine actress. She's really one of the best actresses of her generation. And I think she's, known for these rather serious, classical, dramatic parts. And here she plays someone so much more accessible and so lovely and so funny and so crazy. And she just teams up with Ashton also in a more subtle role than he's ever played. I'm just proud of their work and, frankly, proud of my own work in this.
I mean, to put Kutcher and Portman, to put them down on paper and say, put these two together in a comedy, you'd have to say, would the chemistry work? Obviously, it did. And was there a lot of work to go into to create that chemistry, or was it just natural?
Well, I'd like to take a lot of credit for that, but in fact, I don't, because I can't. The thing about chemistry, it's really an act of God. It's kind of one of those magical things that's either there or not. And we've both seen films where, even though you have very attractive, very talented actors, for whatever reason, it's just not there. The heat doesn't come off. And I knew it from the moment that I actually saw the two of them in my office after we've decided to work together. And that is a kind of a critical moment, because that's really the first time you get a sense of whether this thing is going to work or not. And right away, I could see that I was going to be in great shape. Yeah. There's just something about the way they get under each other's skin and the way they look at each other that was really magical.
I don't want to freak you out, but I'd love to hang out with you in the daytime sometime.
It's not really possible. I have no time. I work 80 hours a week doing 36-hour shifts. What I need is someone who's going to be in my bed at 2 a.m. who I don't have to lie to or eat breakfast with.
I hate breakfast.
Do you want to do this?
Do what?
Use each other for sex at all hours of the day and night. Nothing else.
Yeah, I could do that.
Good. It's gonna be fun.
It's a real kind of edgy movie, to say the least. It's a real twist on a normal romantic comedy. I know there was an original title for this particular script, and that got changed. Does it bother you when things like that happen, when movies get changed and there's big kind of twists and stuff like that? Well, or is that just part of it?
Because the F word was in the center of that title, I think we clearly knew early on that we were going to have to make a change, because it was going to be impossible to advertise the film in such a way. I think No Strings Attached actually is a fairly accurate title for the movie, and I think it is raunchy. I think it's one of those movies that we're used to hearing boys talk in a very direct and honest way, and a raunchy way, where we very rarely get to hear women the way they really speak with each other, and this film, thanks to Liz Merriweather, the author, really has both in a kind of remarkable way. And it's one of the things that makes it feel very contemporary and make it stand out from kind of standard romantic comedy stuff.
In the current, I suppose, medium, and with Twitter and Facebook and all these other media and social networking and stuff, dating has changed quite a lot, I presume, over the years. And you're married, what is it, 20, 30 years now, are you?
Oh, even
Happily
more.
Happily married, of course.
Happily married, even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a little out of the dating scene, but I've certainly, everybody else
Romance
involved,
isn't dead, Ivan, is it?
No, romance is
it just
not
evolved?
Dead. Romance just gets deeper and richer, I think, in a long relationship. But what's happened here in No Strings Attached, in terms of what it tries to depict, is, I think, social media has had a real effect on the way men and women court and the way they sort of get together. I think it used to be you would go out 4 or 5 times with someone, you'd take them to dinner, you look in their eyes, you get to know them. Right now, perhaps even before that first time you ever meet this person, you've checked them out on Google, you've looked on their Facebook page, and you know what they had for dinner the night before, you know who their friends are, what their parents do, where they went for Christmas. It's we have this extraordinary amount of information, and then we have a sense of intimacy as a result, even though frankly, we don't hardly know them. We just have all this information about them. And what it does is it accelerates the kind of intimate relationship that can come from it. And so that, coupled with the fact that we're all such busy bees and that we have lives that are so full, I think many people opt for relationships that they don't really want a complex relationship. I mean, everybody would like a little bit of sex. I think both men and women seem to want it in equal measure. And so I think the fantasy of this kind of relationship is that you can have it, you can have your busy life, you don't have the messiness of a relationship.
Ivan, speaking of romance, probably one of the most romantic gestures I've ever made was proposing to my girlfriend there last year. And it was actually at a place you probably know very, very well on North Moore Street in New York City.
Yes.
Can you guess where?
It wasn't in front of my building in Ghostbusters, was it?
It was. It was a very emotional time for me, but maybe not for her. But I just said, when I had you on, I had to tell you that. And
what a lovely story.
Yeah. A lovely photograph as well. I must send it on to you maybe one day.
You know, it's just occurred to me we really haven't had a completely successful test of this equipment.
I blame myself.
So do I. Well, no sense worrying about it now.
Why worry? Each of us is wearing an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on his back.
Yep. Let's get ready. Switch me on.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, any update on Ghostbusters 3? I've been waiting patiently for this, Ivan.
Well, I am too. I think we have a very good script, and I've got my fingers crossed, really. I'm just trying to get all the actors in line, and when that happens, you'll be hearing about it.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be in 2011, or when do you think?
I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in 2011.
Great stuff, Ivan. I'm delighted to hear that. And if ever you're casting for Ghostbusters 3 in the next few months, just so you know, Sony could save a few more quid by hiring an Irish Ghostbuster. I have all the gear. I have the proton pack, PK meter, flight suit, all ready to go. If you need me, just call me.
Thank you.
Ivan, your son Jason, his star has just exploded over the last few years as a
he's a really talented guy, isn't he?
Really talented
if you
director.
don't mind me saying.
Yeah, and he was probably one of the first guys I actually saw on the big screen, because Ghostbusters 2 was the first film I saw in the cinema, and he had a small part in that, of course, at the start.
Yes.
Are you proud of his development as a director, and obviously a very talented writer as well?
Yeah, both his parents are remarkably proud of the career that he's made for himself. I think the movies he's both written and directed are really, frankly, remarkable. And I'm just thrilled for him. He's working on his fourth movie right now with Charlize Theron and called Young Adult, and I can't wait to see that.
Ivan Reitman, absolute pleasure to talk to you today here on Spin Cinema, and thanks for joining me.
Same here.
Cheers, Ivan. Best of luck with the movie.
Thank you.
It's Spin Cinema with Peter Murphy.
That wraps this edition of Spin Cinema, the video podcast. More to come in the coming weeks, where I'll be delving into my favourite interviews of 2010 and also some interesting movies coming up in the future. For more interviews like this, tune in Sunday morning from 8:45 on spinsouthwest.com or click like on the Spin Cinema Facebook page. I'm Peter Murphy, and this has been the Spin Cinema video podcast.
The hottest stars, movie news, and a whole lot more.
Lights, cameras, action.
Spin Cinema with Peter Murphy on Spin Southwest.